Gold-Onwude. Thank you so much for joining me today on the WNBA on NBC. I'm happy to have you back. It's been a little bit.
Yeah, no, perfect timing to see All-Star, to get a little bit of time out of the break, and then here we are, marching into playoff push.
Yes, and I saw you, though, over the weekend. We were both at the Liberty game when they played the Los Angeles Sparks, and I saw you post a picture in your little cute construction, like Sabrina vest or whatever it was that they handed out the game.
You got the shirt on right now.
Yes, so I was like, I'm gonna match that energy and wear the Sabrina shirt. It's in support of her shoe, the Sabrina 3 that's coming out, and so. But they had these fans. They had these T-shirts available for all the fans in the arena. I thought it was like a really cool thing. The arena looked really cool. And so, unfortunately, even though Sabrina and the Liberty did not get the win, the Sparks came in there and they got the W. I still want to show some love because I think like when teams do stuff like this for the fans, it's just another example of the Liberty being one of those great organizations and what they do for fans. So just showing a little love.
Everything's always a little bit A1 with the Liberty. And first of all, this T-shirt, this is not cotton. This is dry fit.
Yeah.
This is a high quality workout shirt. It's Nike, which Sabrina is with. You got your seafoam green colors. And yeah, no, it was a nice recognition of her Sabrina 3. Her Sabrina 2 went crazy. Men's or women's NBA players wear it, so we love to see the crossover and marketability and selling power of women's basketball players.
For sure. And the Liberty will be on the road tonight, and I know you're going to be,
I'm working. I did the Liberty Mercury game. The next day I was on the call for the Liberty Sparks game. We saw Ellie the elephant get dragged off the court during that game. It got spicy. And tonight, the Liberty are in Dallas, and we're calling it from studio on the road.
For sure. So you're a busy working woman, so I want to be very respectful of your time. And so we were both at this game covering it. Like you were, on the broadcast. I was up in the media section, but we're both covering the game. And it was a really good game.
Yeah.
The Liberty got off to a slow start, which has been a little commonplace for them lately, right? But Breanna Stewart gets injured really early in that game. And everyone's like speculating. I hate when people do that, but everyone's speculating what it could be. But she ultimately does not end up returning to that game. No. So now they have to adjust on the fly without Breanna Stewart. And look, they've had a lot of experience this season having to adjust. Like Jonquel Jones has been out the lineup, Leonie Fevich has been out the lineup, Nyara Sabally, and on and on and on. So, but still, losing a player of Breanna Stewart's magnitude and having to adjust on the fly like that is a big deal. And so their slow start, adjusting, they finally get back into the game, and they make it a really close game. It gets really competitive, but Rickea Jackson hits this unbelievable game winner. When I say unbelievable, because I don't even think she was really trying to shoot a shot, but that's a story for another day. But she threw it up and it went in right at the buzzer, game winning, buzzer beating game winner. And so that's all she wrote. Sparks get a huge, huge win in New York. They now have the longest active win streak in the league. 5 games. They're rolling right now. Now they're like 1 spot out of 8. So, or maybe 2 spots, I'm not sure, but they're like right outside, like looking in the top 8. And so what do you make of the Sparks? Like, are they just finding their groove? Or like, is this the team we've always been expecting to see? Or, do we think they can make it in?
Yeah, I think this was a huge win for the Sparks, and you saw it on their faces. I mean, these ladies, sometimes you want to act cool after a win, like you've been there before, like this isn't the biggest deal for your season. Sometimes you ask people, you're going to see the defending champs. Is it a big deal? And they say, is it circled on your calendar? It's just any other game. We come out and handle every game like every other one. That's not what happened in that game. They celebrated like they advanced to the Elite 8. Like this was like almost one and done March Madness energy. They carried Rickea Jackson. They held each other in each other's arms. They ran together. I also think that the nature of the way the shot was made is part of that energy. But it was also a really great litmus test for them. They had come in winning 4 straight, and it was against the Connecticut Suns, the Washington Mystics.
Right.
And they had already come out of the Olympic break to play the Liberty at Barclays. They had a lead and they lost it. The Liberty stormed back and won. Here they were again. They had a lead. The Liberty are storming back, and it looks like they might take this one from them.
Yeah.
And instead they held on and they just kept responding.
They did.
And so I feel like this was a signature win for them that gives them the confidence to know that like they can play with anyone. In fact, they are. And I know for a fact, I spoke with Azare Stevens before the game, like they had their come to Jesus moment, a few of them. They've had a number of meetings. Dearica Hamby has talked about it too, where this team talks to each other in the locker room and they're saying, who do we want to be? And coming out of the All-Star break, they said, we are a playoff team and we're going to go for it. And I think they can. They can do this. They're right there with the Valkyries, who are now lost like, I don't know, what is it, 4 of 6 or something?
And Kayla Thornton went
Obviously,
down.
with Kayla Thornton
Yeah.
now, it's a game changer. And then you've got the Washington Mystics, who's
Yes.
so young. That youth may show down this line in the race here to that 8th spot. So there's a lot of good things. But I think just immediately, that game was huge for the Sparks to beat the Liberty and to hold on.
It was. And it bodes well for them that they beat the Mystics 2 games now. So, like, for tiebreak scenarios, that could, like, really matter. Same thing with the Valkyries. Like, right now, the Valkyries have beaten them twice. So, they have one more matchup with the Valkyries. So, like, if it comes down to a situation where everyone's, like, tied or close, those tiebreakers are going to be really, really key. Coach Trammell recently became a special assistant to the Sparks. Tuesday is when it was announced, coming right out of the All-Star break. How much, if any, do you think this, I mean, they won right before they went into the All-Star break, but now they come out of All-Star break, they reel off 4 straight on the road. Do you think at all, like, her hiring is making an impact?
Oh, for sure. First of all, Coach LT is very well liked. She's very much known for her defensive presence, her defensive mind. And this is a team in the Sparks that could use any defensive growth and improvement that they could. They were literally tied at one point for second to last, 12th in the league for opponents' points per game. They were just people scored easy on them, and they were having breakdowns. In this win streak, they were much better on defense. And I think that's effort, that's LT, that's health, that's all the things coming together. But the defensive end of the ball is really key. And also with Cameron Brink now, you know, being announced as ready to come back. Look, with an ACL tear, it's usually the second year after where you really see the best of a player.
For sure.
But one thing that Cameron immediately was able to impact as a rookie was defense, shot changing, rim protection, shot blocking, and they could probably use that extra body there.
For sure. And I mean, I'm glad that you brought up Cam, because also, like, they also just got players back. Ray Burrell is back in the lineup. She was missing earlier in the season. You know, they had a lot of health and some roster changes. So, like, right now they're looking good. And I'm curious to see what they will do. But on the other side of that is the Liberty loss. And I mean, look, Sabrina Ionescu and Natasha Cloud did everything in their power to try to will the team to a win. And
I think they ran out of time. If there was an extra minute, I really think the Liberty probably would have come back and taken that thing.
For sure, because it was literally a tie ball game, and, like, it was game-winning, like, buzzer beater shot that Rikia got off. So.
Yes, and also, like, first of all, full stop, kudos to the Sparks.
Yes.
And to Rikia, who came out scorching, sizzling hot first half, kind of got quiet the rest of that second half, but stayed with it. And sometimes when you're just you're beating the drum, you're doing the right things, even though it's not going in, you're going for it, you're doing the right habits out there. Sometimes the basketball gods shake it your way, and that's what happened for her there. But I feel like the Liberty had every single excuse to lay down in this game. Like,
they did.
Breanna Stewart doesn't even play 4 minutes. She plays less than 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's the second day of a back-to-back.
Right.
Mind you, they just played the tough, physical Phoenix Mercury, and now they're coming here. Like, they could have laid down. Instead, this Liberty team is very comfortable playing from behind. They're the defending champions. They're very confident. They're very talented. They're very veteran. And over, you've heard them echo, like, about being down. Like, their huddle is never panicked. There's always this quiet confidence of we can come back. And they have. They've come back down 17-19 versus the Atlanta Dream. They've already come back against the Sparks. They nearly did it again here.
Yeah.
So I don't love digging holes, but when you're the Liberty, maybe, I don't know.
Right. and we also saw, like, at one point in the game, Sabrina get, like, really worked up over, like, a ref call. Like, we have a lot of lip readers, and people are saying she was like, tech me. But I don't know. I mean, I see, you know, Sabrina get animated sometimes.
Is this the season of the crash out?
Yeah, but, like, I was like, wow, what is going on? You know, and Ellie, like, I think you brought her up earlier, was, like, you know, going crazy on the sideline.
First of all, I was so happy because you know, as a broadcaster during the game, you have a decision to make, like, do I discuss this? Can our cameras get to it fast enough? But we literally saw Ellie the elephant, the Liberty mascot, getting dragged off the court, and it was so ridiculous.
It was hilarious.
That we brought it up. And then later, some fans posted, like, their camera footage to this talk, and it's been hilarious and viral and all the things that can make sports great, you know?
Yeah, Ellie's great, best mascot in the league. So listen, I was like, what's going to happen here? I thought they were going to pull it off. They did not. It's a great win for the Sparks, but they have gotten into deficits. They're about to go on the road without Breanna Stewart. They cannot get themselves into those deficits. And Leonie talked about that after the game in the media scrum, right? Like, because their last road trip did not go that well for them, right? And they don't want to fall too behind in the standings. They've regained second, so they're still behind the Lynx, but they've regained, so they're about to go on the road. And I think they have a really reasonable road schedule, Roz. Like, they have, they're at Wings, at the Lynx, at Sun, twice, and then the Wings come to town. Their hardest game really in there is the Lynx. Like, that's the one where I'm like, okay, not saying they can't do it, but that might be a hard challenge. But the rest of the schedule is really reasonable. So I don't really see like a need.
Reasonable. I'd say it's very favorable.
Yes. I don't want to disrespect
no,
other
it's
teams.
Not even disrespectful. I think you're talking about the defending champions, and they're hitting the road, and it's a softer schedule. They've got a tough. Finally, they're seeing the Lynx. My goodness, it's been a whole season, and unfortunately, they'll hit the road without Breanna Stewart. I do think this Liberty team is different now than it was hitting the road without Jonquel Jones and Leonie Phoebish, and at times without Sabrina Ionescu. I think that role players during that spurt have now learned like what they need to do. Guards are rebounding. Leonie Phoebish is back, and she's so huge for the team, and she's being aggressive. You've got Izzy Harrison, who I think is going to be really key in this period without Breanna Stewart to come in and help out inside. And she's really found a role that she is enthusiastic about and shining in. And Jonquel Jones back is a big deal. And, she's been playing great, but there's also a conditioning factor. Like, she's been out for over a month. So I'm sure there's also a watching of her body.
For sure.
And I think, just like we found out just how important Jonquel Jones is to the Liberty, we still are going to find out just how important Breanna Stewart is. And her injury is incredibly unfortunate, given literally heading into that game, Coach Brandello said to the media in pregame, she was like, we want to lower Stewie's minutes. I think she's doing too much for us. She's playing too many minutes. Literally, she said, we've got a back-to-back here. We're going to go to our bench, and we're going to go to our bench early, and we trust them. And unfortunately, in 3 minutes and seconds, Stewie goes down.
Right.
The intention was to play her less, and still, the basketball she got tripped up early there, and hopefully she can be back in a full sense sooner than later.
Yeah, I mean, the reporting is that she avoided significant injury.
And I didn't know what that meant, actually.
I don't know either, because they're always so vague with these reports, so we didn't even get
what did they mean by avoided significant injury, as opposed to what, was my question.
I don't know.
Sometimes it's hard as a team broadcaster. You don't even know sometimes.
I want to know too, but I feel like it's something that's still sort of with the W, they're sort of secretive about injuries and don't really tell you
Well, the way the injury looked, it made you concerned, because it was just, it kind of didn't seem like there was brute force that created it.
Right, and it said lower leg, so I'm like, gosh. Because at first I thought maybe hammy, but then calf. But either way, any of those injuries are tough. And so I guess with their upcoming schedule, at least for 6 games, I feel like don't rush her back. It's a favorable schedule.
Don't rush her back. And also, the Liberty are so deep. You got Emma Mieseman coming eventually. We'll see what the visa situation is. But, don't rush her back. This team, when Stewie is able to come back, she's going to be able to come in and mesh right away. This is a very familiar with each other type team. For sure.
The only thing you have concern about, or at least I have concern about, is just they are deep, and they're really going to have to rely on that depth, because you don't want to put too much wear and tear on anyone, right? And Sabally is out too, and so now it's
Phoebish is banged up. You saw that,
right? And so you have Jonquel coming back from the injury, but now you don't want to put too much on her, so they're really going to have to really rely on their depth, and that's why getting off to those great a good start is going to be really, really key.
That's a great point.
But you know what? There's going to be so much more on the Liberty, so we will continue to talk about them. I appreciate you joining me today for the WNBA on NBC. Y'all, make sure you see it behind us. Subscribe to our new YouTube channel, Roz. As always, thank you. You're the best.
Oh, so good to kick it with you, girl.